Have you wondered why strings are different from other types in .NET? Every time you concatenate strings, replace chars in a string, or do any kind of operations with strings, you create a new string. This unique behavior stems from its immutability. So let's deep dive into why strings are immutable in C# and how it can impact your programming. What does it mean for a string to be immutable? First thing, you cannot modify any content of a string since it was created. And two, any operation you did on a string will cause another string to be created. So, for example, if you have a string here, first or original to be better equals to hello world, and then string modified equals to original. This might be the same string, but if you do any kind of operation here, like replace, okay, hello, or just age or j, for example, it will create a new string here. So if we print those strings, I will print the original and modified, okay, and then we run this program. So .NET run here, just a second, because I left a blank space here on the age, sorry about that. .NET run here. Okay, you're gonna see it printed hello world and jello world. Jello world sounds cool, but this happens because every time that we modify a string, like here, we got the original string and we replace age to j, it will create a new string, brand new string that is not related to the original string. By the way, as I show on my previous video, a string is just a list of chars, and as any list in .NET, lists are immutable, which means that any operation that we do over lists will create a new list. Good, but you may question yourself why these strings are immutable. For example, if we have two strings with the same value here, for example, hello world, in both of these strings. And by the way, you can use string in lowercase, you can use string starting with s. This is the base string type. This is the alias, and var is the infer type. Okay, it will infer the type here. Doesn't matter, any one of these types will work. When you create these strings, these two variables with the same value as strings, .NET will optimize these strings internally using something called string interning. I wrote an article about it. It's on my blog. I will let the link in the video description here for you. I'll not dig into details of a string interning in this video. I'll do another video just about this topic. But what it does, it just creates the reference from the original to the modified string. So they both point to the same string in memory. We can check it by use object if you don't have the object. If you're using another version of .NET, you need to use the object. If you're using implicit using, it will be fine here. .reference equals. We have the equals method to verify that two items are the same by comparing its values, and we have the reference equals to compare two objects by their reference. We can pass the original and modified here, and we expect the result here to be true. Even they are two different variables, they are stored in two different memory locations, they point to the same data. Okay, I can get rid of object here because I'm already using implicit using here. Okay, so .NET run this project and the result is true, which means that both original and modified are pointing to the same data in heap memory in this case. And here comes the good point of string immutability. That's because every time that you modify a string here, it will create another string. So if we come here and modify the modified string equals to hello world new, hello new world, and then console.writeLine and console.writeLine just the modified string. Okay, we're gonna expect different behaviors here now. So let me clear this and .NET run. Okay, we have true for the first syntax here because the strings are the same. We have the false for the second one because we changed the string are not the same, so it created another string, allocated a new bunch of memory for this string, and then we have the value of the modified string, which is hello new world. We can find the same benefit of immutability when we're talking about thread thread safe, okay, or thread safety. Okay, strings are thread safe by default, which means multiple threads can access the same string instance without worrying about one thread modifying it. So if I execute here a parallel dot for example, I'll do it from 0 to 10 and open a new anonymous function here and do a console.writeLine original, for example. We're gonna see that we can access the same string on each parallel iteration here, because even they run in separate thread here, we can access the same string from different threads on the parallel execution here. Let me do this .NET run, and we can see that hello world is printed 10 times because it can access the string even from other threads. And the last thing that makes string immutability a benefit is the prediction. Okay, we can expect the string to not be modified, instead to be cloned to another string. So this means we can create some methods that expect a string that change these strings equals new string, for example. And even with this code, we can expect the string passed through here to not be modified. For example, var text equals hello world. Okay, we can pass this string to the method update, and then we can print text with console.writeLine. And the string hello world won't be modified. That's because this is another scope. A second point that this will create a new string for this method here. So we can .NET run this project and we see that hello world isn't modified to new string in this case. So it's predictable, and in this case it doesn't have any kind of side effects. And that's it for now. I hope you enjoying this content, enjoying this video, and understand a little bit more about strings and immutability in strings, and understand the points that why strings are immutable and why this is more like a benefit than a downside for strings here. If you have any tips to manipulate strings or regarding string immutability, please let your comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. See you next time. Bye.